Happy Sabbath to everyone and all the viewers. My name is Kojo Thompson. I'm an international certified minister, and I just come to you on this Sabbath day just to talk about breathing techniques that are helpful, just helpful techniques that will help to revitalize your cells and the Creator's body that we have been given, how to take care of it, and the many important things about our body are actually taking it from a macro perspective to a micro perspective. So taking it down to the simplest forms of explanation that is possible, just for everyone to understand. I believe that education, which is what I've learned about what education means, is the word meaning like educate is to bring that is from within out. So this is all capable for everyone. Just as Jesus said that anything that I have done, you can do and better. So this is just a permission slip that we have been given from one of the ascended masters that has gone through an experience here on this earth and has shown an example of how to bring God through us, through this way. That's why he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. A lot of people have differing opinions on this. My explanations that I have gone to this has been, I can turn on reactions, has been that from Jesus's permission slip that we all can be that way and that truth and that life to bring God through us. So with me just trying to give as much insight as I can on different healthy practices that you can do. I'm going to talk to you about box breathing today. But again, I just want you to be able to know for this Sabbath day, another one of the advice that we have been given from the Ascended Master Jesus is he said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. And he said the Son of Man is actually Lord over the Sabbath. So the rest was made for man. It's not that man was made to worship the Sabbath day, but instead just treat it as a day of rest. From what I remember before me getting on here, this was given in Mark chapter 2, verse 28. And then the later that I said that the Son of Man is Lord over the Sabbath, this was given in Mark chapter 2, verse 29. So just a remembrance, just a takeaway from this permission slip that have been given is that to treat this day as a day of rest and to treat life as a day of rest. It's not just only this day, because a lot of times in Scripture, it's do not be anxious, do not fear, do not worry, do not doubt. So it's not just doing it only in this day, but taking it from this practice on this day and bringing it to the other days as well, as we provide service in our many different ways that we do on this earth. And so I just want to talk about how breathing is very important, because a lot of times we do shallow breaths, and with the shallow breaths, all of our cells, which make up all of our organs, our eyes, our skin, our nails, our bowels, our bones, our stomach, our gallbladder, our spleen, our pancreas, our large intestine, our small intestine, our circulatory system, our skeletal system, our nervous system, our lymphatic system, our glymphatic system, our pineal gland, our pituitary gland, our hippocampus, our brain, nose, ears, mouth, tongue, just our whole body that we have been given. Oxygen is very important. So the best way to breathe is through breathing through our stomach rather than breathing through our chest. So this technique that I have learned that I practice, I try to practice it in the morning when I wake up, just because the breath of life that we've been given is just so important, and I've taken it for granted, so I'm just telling you how this has helped me, just as a permission slip for you, that a practice that you can do when you wake up before you start your day and do your day, not just on Sabbath day, but on all the other days, is you'll breathe in through your mouth, and it's best to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And when you're breathing in, you don't want your chest to rise up. You rather want your stomach to fill up with air. So we'll say, and you breathe in and you want your stomach to fill up, and then when you're letting the air out, your stomach is going to go in. So when you breathe in, your stomach will fill up with air. You hold it for 4 seconds. And then you breathe out, and you breathe your stomach in. So breathing in within your nose, your stomach goes out, and then breathing out with your nose or your mouth, then your stomach goes in. So the way that they do with the box breathing is, if I'm going to do it with a box, it's breathing in, and then hold for 4 seconds, and then breathing out with your stomach going back in, and then holding for 4 seconds, and then breathing in again, hold for 4 seconds, and then breathing out. So then you just keep going in that box format. So breathing in, like I said, hold for 4 seconds, breathing out, hold for 4 seconds, breathing in, hold for 4 seconds, breathing out, hold for 4 seconds. So I'll do this for, you can do it for 3 minutes, 7 minutes, but again, what we're trying to do is our cells of our body that make up all of our different organs and all of our different body parts, the important things that it needs is oxygen, hydration, your lymph to be cleared out, which exercise helps do that, but then also any sort of movement as well helps to pump, because it's not like our heart that's a pump. Our lymphatic system, we need to be able to move to pump all of the waste that is out, because it is not only accumulating waste, it needs the waste to be pumped out. So it's our sewage system in all of our cells. So that's very important. And then also it's going to help with stress, because stress as well, with one of the stress hormones, cortisol, that we have labeled in the society, but cortisol can also affect your cells as well, to not let them operate as quickly. And then also just our daily forms of different chemicals, whether they're in the air. Right now I'm under 2 mango trees, so a lot of times I like to just be in nature as much as possible. Some cultures have called this, I think it's like forest bathing, and just being around nature, breathing in all the fresh air, it's giving us what we need. It's like just restoring like the Garden of Eden, and being in that process of just coming back to nature, because that is what the Creator wanted for us. The Creator wanted for us to be able to be in nature and be part of nature, because us and nature are one. Our God did not want us to hurt nature, use nature in a way that is not conducive, not only for nature but for us. So this was all made for us, and just like the Lord's Prayer says, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So our goal is to allow for heaven to conjoin with earth. It was never supposed to be separate. We were never supposed to suffer on this earth, but I believe that it's just a mismanagement of resources, and to come back to nature. So a lot of times certain cultures have come to other cultures and have said, why are you praying under a tree? Why are you praying next to the water? Why are you using the elements to pray? But it's not using the elements to pray. It is just the same simple thing of tools. The sun is for us, the moon is for us, everything was made for us. We were made to be one with it. It's not supposed to be separate. It's not a form of ritual. And this is my perspective of all the books that I've read, whether it be the canonical scriptures that people read, or whether it be the Apocrypha, or whether it be the Essene Gospels, which I would recommend for everyone to read. Very good for health and knowing how to treat your body. But these are very important. So just before we start, I like to use the different angels of the day, which I've been taught by from the Essene Gospels. So today is the angel of the earthly mother, and we say that the angel of the earthly mother and I are one. She gives the food of life to my whole body, and this is nutrition for our whole body. And like I told you, our whole entire body is made up of cells, and these cells make up and they combine the matter that is our bowels, that is our large intestine, our small intestine, our stomach, our gallbladder, our pancreas, our spleen, our stomach, our eyes, our nails, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our skin, just all the different parts of our body that allow for us to be able to experience this. So I will do the box breathing with you for 7 minutes, just so we do it together, and you can take this as a practice for you moving forward. But again, this is just a permission slip. There's many different types of practices that you can do, but I'd rather bring this to you from, this is something that I've learned that has helped me not only to what it's going to do for you, just so you guys can explain, it's going to calm your parasympathetic nervous system. Which your sympathetic nervous system is just a system in your body that activates with like stress and different stuff like that. But the parasympathetic is just very calming. And you have a connection called the vagus nerve that connects from your brain to your stomach. And this nerve running all the way down through your body, it's also very calming. You can calm it with adaptogenic herbs. So I'll say that again, adaptogenic herbs. So some of these adaptogenic herbs I use is like holy basil. You can put it in just tea form. You just boil water, and then after you boil the water, then you have the herbs, and you want to wait for like the water just to cool down a little bit, not be too hot, and then you'll pour it inside of the herbs. And then it's best if you have a temperature that's a little much, but to 140 degrees, and then you will pour it inside of where the herbs are, and then you let it steep for about like 5 minutes. Some people say 10 minutes is too much, but 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then you can just sweeten it. Some people don't like to use honey, but I use honey, so you can use honey to sweeten it, but it'll just calm you, and it'll calm that vagus nerve. But another way to do it, which we're going to do now, is with the breathing. So the breathing is not only important for bringing the oxygen into our cells, which is one of those mainstays that is very important for all of our cells, but also to calm our cells. And you can do this when you wake up, after you wake up, and then also when you in the middle of the day or before you go to bed. So this is just an example that I wanted to just bring to you for education of practices that you can do that are just normal, that are given to us, but that I feel like are overlooked, that a lot of times we're just like, oh yeah, like we can breathe, but then whenever you're sick and you have a lot of mucus in different parts of your body, inflammation and stuff like that, and you can't move or you can't breathe like freely, and you have like your stuffed up nose, then you're like, oh, I just can't wait to breathe again. But even after you get out over that sickness, you can quickly forget, which I'm just saying from my perspective, but you can quickly forget how much of a blessing it is just to be able to breathe. So don't take that for granted, and whenever you are able to breathe, just remember to try to do as much breathing practices as you can to just oxygenate all of your cells, because this is one thing that is very important besides that I said, which I'll tell you more about, hydrating your cells with eating foods based better in their raw form, just to hydrate those cells, and then doing different practices different movement practices. One that I like to do is called the Tibetan rites. Just it helps to move all your different body parts, and then there's Tai Chi, and then also getting this different stressors. This is made of cotton, so just trying to stay also away from different harmful substances that we create ourselves, different synthetics and fabric and such. This as well. This is made from cotton and stuff. So we'll start with the breathing practices. We'll do it for about 7 minutes, and then we'll close out. But this is just one of the many things that I'm just going to just speak on, just to give you advice. I'll see how often I come on here. I was thinking about doing a 7 a.m. meditation together with you guys, but I'll see how that works out in the future. But for right now, I'll just pop in from when I can and just give you just different practices that I like to do. Usually I'll do this practice, this box breathing that I explained to you, and then from what I've been taught from the Essenes teachings, which the Essenes is basically like you have the different sects of the Jewish sects, and they have the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and then the Essenes, which the Essenes aren't very much talked about, but you can search that up on YouTube if you just look at the Gospel of the Essenes, and you can just learn about the teachings that they have. It was said that when they were in Antioch and they were healing people in Greece, and then people came up to them and they were saying, "Oh, what should we call you?" They just said, "We're followers of the way." So just like how people have, I don't know if people have heard of the Taoists, but there's like a way of life to live. It's a lifestyle. So they talk about different terms of baptism, how we use baptism now. That's why John baptized Jesus, but they did a daily baptism. So usually after I do my breathing techniques, so you can do this before, but usually after I do my breathing techniques, I like to dip myself in cold water every single morning, just to wake up my body. And they would actually do this, I feel like, in the morning and the evening from what I remember from reading. But again, we'll get more into talking about that because I feel like free-flowing discussion is very important. So right now we'll do the box breathing for seven minutes. So we'll start. And again, when we breathe in, you're going to have your stomach. You're going to push all the air into your stomach and let your stomach come out. And then when you breathe out through either your nose or your mouth, after holding for 4 seconds when you breathe in, and when you breathe out, you're going to breathe everything out, and your stomach is going to come in, and then you'll hold for 4 seconds, and then we'll keep going. So whenever we switch, I'll just hold my hand up and then like this, and then we'll switch. So breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Remember, just be gentle on yourself. You don't have to breathe in and breathe out very roughly. Just do it as calmly as possible. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're 3 minutes in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. It's good to hold your hand on your stomach just to feel that going in and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good job, almost there. 2 more minutes. On for 7 minutes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more minute. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. We'll do 1 more sequence and then we'll be done. We'll end on the breathe out. Right now we're breathing in. Breathe out. After this, we'll do 1 more and then we're done. Breathing out. Breathe in. Last one, breathe in. And breathe out. Good job. That's how you do the box breathing. So again, you're breathing in, filling up your stomach with air, not doing from your chest, just to make sure that air gets into your stomach and it really separates into all your body. Holding for 4 seconds, breathing out, and bringing your stomach in, holding for 4 seconds, and then again, breathing in, holding for 4 seconds, and then breathing out, holding for 4 seconds. And that is a technique of box breathing that would be good for you to do not only on Sabbath day, but then other days as a practice. So this is just one of the practices that I've learned. There's many different practices, but this is just a permission slip for you. If you want to improve getting oxygen to all of your cells, if you want to improve your breathing throughout the day, because this is not only just a practice that you do inside of the practice, but then you take it into life, because it is a lifestyle to be able to breathe deep, to be able in situations that can be stressful or situations that are calming. It's just a way to continuously take this into your life. So we take this from this practice and we take this into our life, and we thank our Heavenly Father and our earthly mother for this experience that we can be able to do a breath of life. And I just want to say, take care and peace be with you.